Alright.
Okay, you may
Okay,
start.
start. Okay, go Aiman.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum to Madam Munifa and all my friends. So today we are going to present our final year project, and the title is Factors Influencing Students' Use of ChatGPT for Academic Purposes Among Students at UPTM. And this FYP presented by Nursaidatul Akma binti Kamal and me, Muhammad Aiman Hakimi bin Hamidi. So these are our overview. There are five chapters. Chapter 1, Introduction. Chapter 2, Literature Review. Chapter 3, Methodology. Chapter 4, Results and Discussions. And the last one is Chapter 5, Methodology. Okay, let's move to the Chapter 1, Introduction. Okay, as you can see in the bullet points for the background statement, we are introduced the background of our study, and we are looking at how heavily integrated technology and AI have become in our daily education. ChatGPT has essentially become a 24/7 study buddy to the students to get the information and helping with everything from brainstorming and improving English writing, also with the grammar. In the Malaysian context, we can see that surveys show that over 80% of high achieving university students are already using it to the grasp, while in a complex concepts, and we can see that this rapid adoption brings up a serious concerns about complex losing. About students scared to be losing their critically thinking skills and relying too much on AI because learning cultures are differ from university, and we specifically wanted to focus on our own study in our campus UPTM KL to get an accurate picture of what is happening right here. Next, move on to the problem statement. Okay, for the problem statement, the main problem we are addressing is the lack of empirical data on why UPTM KL students are adopting this technology. Um, While previous global studies have looked at perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, the results have been inconsistent across different populations, and there is a significant gap in the literature regarding private higher education in Malaysia. Without this specific data, localized data, UPTM management and lecturers cannot effectively design the right policies, strategies, or ethical in guidelines of AI on campus. Next, we are moving to the research objective. For our research objective, the study is guided by three main objectives. First, we want to identify the general factors that influence students to use ChatGPT for their coursework. Second, we are aimed to examine how students' perception of the tool's usefulness relates to their intention of to actually use it. And finally, we want to determine the simplicity and ease of using the tool directly influence to their adoption of it. Next research question. For the research for the research question, to achieve our objective, we formulated these three specific research question. We asked about what are the exact factors driving this academic use. Is there a statistical relationship between how useful students find ChatGPT and their actual age? And lastly, does the perceived ease of use actually impact how much students utilize it for their assignments? Next is the operational terms in our study. First, we have ChatGPT, an AI chatbot used by the students for learning, brainstorming, and writing assistance. Second one is perceived usefulness. They believe that the AI directly improve academic productivity and save times. Third one, perceived ease of use. They believe that interacting with the AI intuitive initiative, and free of mental effort. And the last one is academic effort, academic use, intentionally applying AI to complete assignments, research, and brainstorm. That's all from me. I will pass to Akma.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum, Madam Munifa and my fellow friends. My name is Nursaidatul Akma binti Kamal and I will be explaining Chapter 2. Okay. So our study is based on Technology Acceptance Model or TAM developed by Davis in 1989. So we selected this theory because it explained the factor that influence user to accept and use a new technology. Since ChatGPT is an AI tool that is increasingly used in higher education, TAM is suitable for explaining why students choose to use it for academic purposes. In our study, we focus on two constructs from TAM. The first one is perceived usefulness, which refer to the extent to which students believe that ChatGPT improves their learning. For example, it helps them understand complex concepts, complete assignment more efficiently, improve their academic writing. The second one is perceived ease of use, which refer to how easy students find ChatGPT to use. Because the platform has a simple and user-friendly interface, so students can use it with minimal effort. So based on them, when students perceive ChatGPT as both useful and easy to use, they are more likely to adopt it for academic purposes. Therefore, in our study, perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use are the independent variable. Meanwhile, student use of ChatGPT in education purposes is the dependent variable. Okay, next I will pass to Aiman Hakim.
Madam, okay,
Ja, can we
you.
continue?
Can we continue? Okay, let's move on to the chapter 3 for the methodology. And for the, okay, as you can see in this research design, to begin with the chapter 3, our study utilized a quantitative research designed to collect concrete numerical data on student perceptions. We specifically use an explanatory cross-sectional survey approach. This allows us to take an accurate snapshot of current student behaviors without manipulating the university environment. The entire design was guided by a deductive approach based on the technology acceptance model TAM, and this to ensure our findings were objective and standardized. Next, we are moving to the sample. Okay, for our sample, we are targeted full-time diploma and degree students at UPTM, as they frequently engage with the digital learning resources. And because of our data was collected online, we use convenience sampling by sharing survey directly in campus group WhatsApp and Telegram's group. Based on G-Power calculations for regression analysis, we aim for a statistically acceptable sample size of 70 to 100 students. Next, research instrument. For the research instrument, we are our main research instrument was a structured, self-administered questionnaire created on a Google form actually. This platform was chosen because it is easily accessible for students and guarantees their anonymity. The questionnaire consists of 30 total items divided into five sections such as demographic, ChatGPT adoption, and digital literacy. All four sections utilize a 5-point Likert scale, allowing students to easily rate their experiences from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Next, I will pass to Saidatul Akma.
Okay, next I will explain the validity and reliability of our research instrument. So, before distributing the questionnaire to the actual respondent, we first ensure that it was both valid and reliable. For validity, we conducted content validity, where the questionnaire was reviewed by our research expert to ensure that the question was relevant, appropriate, and aligned with our research objective. In addition, a pilot study was conducted before the actual data collection to identify any unclear or confusing question and make the necessary improvement. Next one is reliability. We use Karma Alpha to measure the internal consistency of the questionnaire using SPSS. The results show that academic ChatGPT adoption um, Karma Alpha value of 0.75, technological acceptance drivers value of 0.93, and digital literacy and verification habits value recorded value 0.95. Since all the values are above 0.70, we can conclude that the questionnaire has good internal consistency and is reliable for the study. Next, I will explain about data collection procedure. The first one is um, based on the flow chart. You can see the first one is define the research problem. Second, formulate research objective and question. Third one, develop questionnaire based on theory, which is technological, wait, based on our theory, which is STEM, and literature based on the past study literature that to student related to our question, which is student use of ChatGPT for academic purposes. Number four is request expert validation and review instrument from our um, research expert. And number five, distribute consent form and explanation in form so that the student can know the purpose of our study. Number six, distribute final questionnaire by using Google Form. Number seven, collect responses from diploma and degree student at UPTM. And after all the data collection, we analyze the data using SPSS. And lastly, interpret findings and prepare for the project report. Next, next one is chapter 4, result and discussion. Okay, so the findings for research question 1, this is about factors influence student use of ChatGPT for academic purposes. So the highest item is I frequently use ChatGPT to improve the academic tone of my English writing with the mean of 4.30. The second highest, I rely on ChatGPT to help me understand complex concept taught in lecture with the mean of 4.21. And lastly, ChatGPT has become an essential tool in my study routine with mean 4.12. So it's concluded that based on this finding, students mainly use ChatGPT to improve their academic writing and better understand course materials. Next, for findings, research question 2. So this is to check whether there are relationship between perceived usefulness and student use of ChatGPT. So the highest item, which is ChatGPT, saved me a significant amount of time when researching and completing assignment with the mean of 4.35. So it shows that basically student literally value their time in researching for their assignment. So ChatGPT is such a medium that is useful for time because it's only take like a short of time. Second, the interface of ChatGPT is user friendly and easy for me to navigate with the mean 4.26. It shows that ChatGPT is so user friendly and easy to navigate. The third one, students find it ChatGPT convenient because it can adapt to different types of university subjects with the mean 4.25. So based on these findings, it concludes that students perceive ChatGPT as useful and easy to use, and they will adopt this to their academic courses. Lastly, the findings for research question 3. Okay. Does perceived ease of use influence student use of ChatGPT? The highest item with is I actively fact check the information generated by ChatGPT using credible academic sources with the mean of 4.34. So it shows that students not only solely rely on ChatGPT, but they also double check with journal, library databases, and textbook. And the second one is I cross-reference academic citation and reference provided by ChatGPT to ensure they actually exist with the mean of 4.30. And lastly, I fully understand the ethical implication and academic integrity policies regarding the use of AI in my university work with the value of mean 4.28. So basically from this finding, it concludes that students generally use ChatGPT responsibly by verifying information using it. Next is chapter 5 and I will pass to Aiman Hakimi.
Okay, now let's move on to our last chapter, which is the chapter 5 for the discussion. Next. Okay, in this discussion, our findings strongly validate that the technology acceptance model, TEM, we found that the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use are the two massive drivers for ChatGPT adoption at UPTM. Sorry. Students are highly motivated because the tool saves them significant research time and provides round the clock feedback. Furthermore, because of the conversational interface is so simple, students don't need advanced technical skills to write prompts, which makes them much more confident and willing to use it for their assignments. So they don't need have skills, deep skills, or need to join a class to use the chat GPT. They just prompts what they want to in their assignments, and the chat GPT will show the results as soon as possible. Next, we are moving to the relevance from the findings. Okay, in this relevance of findings, it include related to the theory and to the RQs. So for the relevance of our finding is deeply connected to our theoretical framework. The technology acceptance model of TEM suggested that people are adopt new technology based on the two main beliefs, which is how useful it is and how easy it is to be used. So our finding practically validate this theory in a university setting because perceived usefulness was proven that it to be a dominant factor. Any digital tool introduced by the lecturers must directly meet actual course needs, and if the tool has no apparent value, students will naturally reject it. Furthermore, for the result from our results on perceived ease of use show that high adoption doesn't rely on students being incredibly tech savvy, but rather on the AI itself having a simple natural language and interface. And finally, because some students hesitate to use AI due to lack of digital literacy or fear of being accused of plagiarism, UPTM must proactively establish a clear, transparent policies and define the ethical usage to safely integrate these tools. Let's move to the limitations of this study. Okay, there is a three main limitation of the study, and the first one is um, limited. Okay, so this for this limitation, we must acknowledge that this limitation for our research due to our strict 7 week semester, which is the short sem, we were only able to collect data from 100 students only because it's supposed to have around 400, but lack of time we able to collect only 100 students, which means our result represent of UPTM KL only, but cannot be necessarily be generalized to all universities. Additionally, because we use a self-reported survey, there is a risk of response bias. Okay, some students might have downplayed how much they use AI because they wanted to appear more independent. Because students are scared of us being know them using AI too much or what, so they just being biased to answer the Google form. And then the lastly, our study focused strictly on the core variables of TEM framework and did not measure external factors like specific internet accessibility or how rapidly the AI technology itself is changing. So that's all from us today. Thank you so much.